You know what I'm saying? That's you trying to punish this. Trying to punish that, yeah? If you make any you put his chin in the air when you do that shit. That's why I tell you punch on the shoulder. You know what I'm saying?
Because you know, he worked with other coaches, so you know.
Yeah.
But I do know how the fight will be different. The rematch.
With a different strategy.
Yeah, I can't speak on it, but yeah. It's definitely gonna be different. Way different.
See, you're smiling and you're excited about it, and you can tell that that's like a coaching thing. You know that a lot of the fans, they tend to.
Gervonta Davis has made it clear that his record will not be stained further as both he and Lamont Roach dig deep into their respective camps ahead of their August 16th fight. There's a fresh sense of intensity from both sides. Footage from Davis's side shows fast-paced, mid-work, power-focused sparring and tactical drills that suggest a fighter seeking not just redemption, but dominance.
If you likes this, please subscribe, Fight File, and click the bell icon for more new boxing updates.
I mean, Roach should have won the first one. He got robbed because that should have been a knockdown, and the commission messed that up. But in the rematch, I like Tank in a good fight.
Roach's camp, in comparison, appears fueled by justice, treating the controversial draw as a personal grievance and strategizing accordingly. Roach's father and teacher, Lamont Roach Sr., has been vocal about adding new tools to their approach, working on power, timing, and sustained combinations.
The betting me that he gonna knock me out and stuff like that, that didn't go too well for him.
Did y'all bet?
Oh, we bet, and we shook on it.
He paid up?
He changed his number. Again, there's a high level of mutual respect for each other. Like I said, we bumped into each other plenty of times. More than the average boxer would see another boxer outside of boxing.
Still, the noise outside the ring has been almost as loud. There have been claims that Tank isn't as motivated now, and the lackluster showing against Roach was a result of that. Many think he might hang up the gloves sooner rather than later, and coach Kenny Ellis has now discussed the topic in a recent interview with Fight Hype. He said, "Whatever he decides to do, I always say I decide to back him or any other fighter. If he wants to wake up tomorrow and say, 'I'm done,' he's done. Everybody has their path, and that's their choice." Asked about Gervonta Davis's mental space in boxing at the moment, Ellis added, "It's hard to say he does love the sport, but sometimes you've got to stand on Tank for whatever the reason might be. He loves the sport, and he doesn't fear anybody or anything like that."
He got a lot of boos from that. A lot of people wasn't really feeling that. Do you feel like he'll fight better this next fight?
I think so, for sure. And, you had mentioned that they've known each other since childhood.
Yeah.
So maybe that had something to do with that first fight. But now they've fought, they've gotten that experience out of the way. So I think we're going to see both of them a lot more live.
Way better, yeah, definitely.
Tank is getting criticism for not facing the big names. He has been linked with a unification fight against the WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson. His stance on Stevenson has been vague. At times, he's said the fight would happen, and other times he's dismissed Stevenson entirely, saying that Shakur has no special skills. This is despite Stevenson being an undefeated 3-weight champion with a style many think could frustrate Tank's offense.
What the rematch look like between Lamont and Gervonta, you think?
I like Lamont in the rematch.
You were one of the few that kind of picked Lamont to begin with. Why was that?
I sparred with Lamont. I knew that he was a good fighter. He helped me get ready for the Oscar Valdez fight. And I knew his style, with Tank's style, what he was going to be able to bring to the table. I knew it. So,
did you really win 20 rounds?
I swear to God, on my daughter's life, I won that much money.
How different does a rematch look in your...
Instead of pushing for that high-stakes clash, Davis seems more likely to revisit Ryan Garcia, someone he already beat by stoppage. The public isn't asking for a Garcia rematch. They want to see Tank against the best of his time, Devin Haney. and Teofimo Lopez are both world champions across multiple weight classes, and either fight would be commercially successful and important to Tank's legacy, but Davis hasn't shown much interest. It's not just fans demanding clarity. Within boxing circles, the whispers are getting louder. If he leaves the sport without facing these guys, what will be said of his career?
Of what's going on in Tank's camp and, you know, training with this person, training with that person.
Yeah.
Who has the edge heading into the rematch?
Neither one of them. Lamont, you know what? I'm lying. 55-45 Lamont.
Why?
Lamont got the edge because he already did the unexpected. He was supposed to get knocked out coming up from 130. And not only did he not get knocked out, he performed and possibly won the fight. That's what some people believe. I thought it was a very close fight. I think, but after you asked me that question, I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
Leonard Ellerby, who has long handled Davis's promotional affairs, came out to support Davis's talk of walking away. Tank was clear he wanted to leave the sport to focus on his real estate business and his newborn son. Ellerby didn't push back. Instead, he added context. I can understand where he's coming from. Things are different when you have kids, it changes. Your life totally. He looks at things differently than 6 or 7 years ago. The tone of Ellerby's comments showed a kind of tired respect. If that's what he said, he's retiring, and we all heard him. No, not at all. It's never good enough. What you do, and sometimes that can be irritating. There's more to life than something you do for a job. Your fans pay their money to see you fight, but you have a life outside of fighting.
He's not there to play around. He's trying to smoke you. That's what life's supposed to be about. Roach is not just your average everyday opponent. Roach is a person who knows Tank, who's been around Tank his whole life. This is a different fight. You can't put Roach to the side like that. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to win the fight. I don't know that. But Roach cannot be this underrated like that. You understand? You got to understand that Roach came from basically the same ecosystem as Tank came from. Roach is a very formidable opponent. So I'm not going to talk about none of that till we get by Roach. Because what I'm telling you...
That argument that fighters are people too is one Tank himself has hinted at in several recent comments. Lerby elaborated that they want you to continue to do this, and they really don't care about your health later. Boxing is a brutal sport. You see a lot of champions from before who were taken advantage of in a lot of different ways. They went through a lot of health problems, a lot of permanent stuff. I understand the idea that you come into the sport and make your mark, and then you leave it at that. Everybody's view is different, and everybody has different goals in life. Those comments carry weight, especially when paired with Tank's apparent disdain for how boxing's political circles work.
Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach, the rematch is on. Lamont Roach fought a perfect fight. Gervonta didn't look so great. In the rematch, Gervonta can do a lot more better. Roach can't. Gervonta may win this one.
Before his first fight with Roach, Davis took a pointed jab at Turki Alalshik and the Saudi-backed events changing modern boxing. They've been saying they're getting messed up over there. Everything is different. It's not just one fight. It's numerous fights, and you see the guy who looked at the scorecards. That was scary, the way he was talking. Yeah, that's my man. We want to get Tank over here and fight, man. I already know what you all are going to do.
People just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel as though that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw. You know, I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning, moving a little bit too much, but I feel like he was still like frustrating him and things like that. And I think Tank did a good job. He looked sharp to me. And I don't know, people just be talking. You know, at the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
Were you surprised that Lamont...
His message wasn't subtle. He viewed the growing link between boxing's talent pool and Alshik's event machine with suspicion. That unease peaked when he reacted to a photo of fighters standing beside Turki Alshik at a Riyadh season promotional event headlined by Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. Every time I say something, it's like I'm hating because I'm going against the grain. Yeah, in the room standing with Turki Alshik, it looked like some devil stuff, didn't it? Facts though, devil like they sold their souls.
Hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Okendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lie to you not. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie. He a hard him.
But more lately, Davis has softened that stance at least somewhat. When asked if he'd be open to his manager, Al Heyman, working with Alalshik, Davis answered, "That's fine with me for sure." That shift shows a side of Tank many fans aren't used to, a man capable of turning if not compromising. He was quick. To reinforce his pledge to Heyman, though, "I'm loyal to the core. No one will make me go against Al." That kind of loyalty is increasingly rare in a company defined by short-term alliances and money-first decisions.
That we're saying that this is a really tough fight. Like, Lamont Roach is a serious fighter. I said it. It might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And Shakur said to me, like, even the day before, "I'm telling you, he's going to have big trouble tomorrow night." And I just feel like hopefully this could be the little something that gives Gervonta a little wake-up call to take him back to the mindset of maybe where he was.
Still, that loyalty also raises questions about direction. If he won't fight under the Riyadh banner and he won't pledge to Stevenson, Haney, or Lopez, then who will he fight and for how long? His team says he's training with full intensity. The sweater-drenched mid-sessions and focused background support that narrative, but intensity in camp doesn't always reflect long-term goals. The tone from Kenny Ellis and Leonard Ellerby suggests that Tank may be straddling two roads, one that leads to history and one that leads to home. Lastly, Stephen A. Smith, known for his voice across ESPN and Band, said that size and presence count just as much as skill in the ring. "I think Roach is too small. That's my issue," he said. "I'm not questioning his skill set or anything like that. I knew Gervonta was going to come for him, and sure enough, that's what he did. Walked right towards him from round one." Smith's comment wasn't purely technical, but it echoed a widely held opinion. Tank's physicality is one of his weapons. In his view, Roach could be outskilled, out-hot, or just out-muscled. Well, what do you think? Share your thoughts below and subscribe. For